You cannot call yourself a man if you haven't been through a lot.
Suffering builds character, and it helps you callous both your mind and your body. It's only through trials and tribulations that you can become ready for the real world. The world is a very tough place and it will not go easy on you. So that's the only way you can ever be ready for what it really has in store for you.
I want you to think about this. Have you ever had anything come easy to you in life? And if so, have you appreciated it or had respect for it the same way if you had to work for it? So I'm going to give you a quick example so you can understand where we're coming from. So this is a personal story, but I know a lot of guys have also done this or have tried similar things where have the same outcome. So a game we used to play was GTA 5. And for those of you know, it's a very hard game that you have to keep grinding. You have to do the same boring missions, the same heist, just to keep getting your money up. And with the money, then you can buy a better house, better cars. However, it's countless hours that you have to be grinding at this game. On the other hand, you can cheat the game and do a money glitch, for instance. And after that, you have everything in the game. You can buy whatever you like, you can do whatever you want. Even though I spent countless hours repeating the same boring missions, it made it fun because I was grinding towards a better outcome. But after I downloaded some cheats on the game, I stopped playing the game because it was no longer fun for me. There was no more grinding. There was no purpose to keep playing the game. And that's the same with life. In order for you to succeed, you must suffer first.
Now, to go further on that point, if you don't have anything to work towards, you are going to go depressed. A man is happiest at his work. And the reason for that is because he has something constantly on his mind to keep him working, keep him focused, use all of that energy towards something for the greater good, whether that's providing for your family, for security, for money, for whatever it is. It helps him keep focused on down to earth. Now, for any person's life to become fulfilled, there needs to be an end goal that you want to achieve, and that end goal needs to be something of sustainable value, because if it isn't, then what would you have actually accomplished for your life? You have nothing to say for it. You have nothing to show for all of that time that you wasted. And the only way for you to get something which is admirable is through pain and suffering, because if there isn't any of those, then it wouldn't be anything worthwhile. Men are naturally designed to be working. We're workaholics, or that's what we tend to be doing. And if a man isn't focused on working and going through pain and suffering, then we are going to be distracted and get towards drinking, smoking, and doing drugs. And doing those in return will make you feel depressed.
It's just like that dog story. So they took this dog to many different vets, many psychiatrists, and many dog whisperers that he's depressed, he's clinically ill, or he just has a mental suffering. So after many months, they said, oh, this dog is not eating his food properly because he's always sad. One day they were walking through and a farmer noticed this, and he said, oh, that dog doesn't have a purpose in life. Give him a job, so this way he's not always just sitting in the house. So from that day onwards, they gave him a stick to carry up and down wherever they go. But once that dog had a mission, had a goal, even though he was more tired, panting more, and always was more thirsty, it made him eat more food. So because of that, he was no longer malnourished, and he kept working and then being treated for it. Although he was living in a nice lavish house before being very comfortable, it wasn't the same thing because he was a working breed. And what happens with that is when you don't work, you become depressed because you don't have anything to aim for. And that's the same with us men. We're built from a different caliber.
Now, a man doesn't necessarily need to just go to work to boost his morale. There are other things that could help do that as well. And one of the main things that we always constantly go about is keeping you fit. So going to the gym, working out, getting a good recovery, and also eating healthy are all key points in helping you to do that. If you set a goal of achieving a lower body fat percentage, getting those muscles, getting those abs, then you're going to be happier, because then you're going to see yourself progress through someone who's all the way down here to someone who is all the way up here. And not only are you going to be able to see those results, and so will others. Other people will constantly compliment you, ask you questions, and in return, when you answer them or you're reaping those benefits, you're going to even boost your morale even higher. As men, we love to be helpful. We love to be appreciated. That's why we love when we are at work, because people respect us. We're in a higher demand. And when people are admiring you and your work, that's going to be exactly feeding into your hand. So why not achieve your goals and set them high as well?
Everybody respects a millionaire. Everybody can respect an athlete for the hard work he's put in. Because at the end of the day, anyone that has a high value or anyone that's accomplished anything astonishing, we can respect that because he's put in the hours that a lot of people aren't willing to do. Because he's willing to wake up earlier than most people are still sleeping in, and still go to bed later than most people want to go to sleep. He's sacrificed a lot of stuff. He's been through a lot of suffering just to achieve this. So pick something that requires tremendous amounts of work. So when you do accomplish this, most people will question themselves and think to them, how is this even possible? What distinguishes you from them? What are you willing to sacrifice that they are not? Set yourself apart. You cannot be average.
You need to put yourself through a situation that when people look at you, they're like, what is wrong with this guy? Is he normal? What's going on inside of that head? When people are starting to ask those questions from you, that's when you know you're on the right path. That's what's going to give you the optimal results where people are going to look at you and be completely amazed. They're going to think you're out of this world and you're not human.
But at the end of the day, we just got to realize that we are all humans. So if you see another person doing it, they're not different, they're not Superman, they don't have any magical powers. It's just that they're willing to work more than you, they're willing to sacrifice more than you and put in more hours. So ask yourself this: how bad do you really want it? Because if you don't want it that bad, then don't force yourself, because there are hungrier people out there that want it.
And to round off the entire point of taking the suffering, just imagine yourself or others when they think of a trust fund baby, someone who's been gifted or inherited all of their wealth. They think to themselves and they're like, this guy hasn't earned anything, he doesn't deserve it, or they look down on him. Why? Because they haven't worked for it. You don't want to be like that. You want to be the guy that everyone looks up to and admires his work ethic, his determination, his discipline. And the only way you can build those traits if you've been through the suffering, if you've been through the trauma. So put your head down and get to work. Get through all of the discipline and chores that you need to do. Make sure that you can build that commitment to struggling, because if you don't and you're not getting used to being uncomfortable, you're not going to make it and you're not going to reap the rewards out of it.
Once again, thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. This is a journey for all of us to becoming the best version of ourselves, and we can only become better if we go through suffering and pain, because that's what builds the character. Just like doing pull-ups, how it builds calluses and you get thicker skin, this journey is the same with life. You need to go through harsh environments to become adaptable, and only then you can become something. So make sure you stay true with yourself and tune in for more videos. Stay traditional.